Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor is presented by Sparks Hockey. Go to sparkshockey.com. Sunset Lake CBD. Go to sunsetlakecbd.com/morning brew. Use the code BRU20 for 20% off. Copeland Automotive Group. You can count on Copeland. Check out countoncopeland.com. And Fazenda Coffee. Go to fazendacoffee.com/morning brew.
I feel like we've been on a break. Maybe the longest we've gone without doing a show in a couple of years. Maybe not. It also could just be the sometimers that I just don't remember things that well. Your mic on?
I don't know. There it is.
Now it is.
There it is.
You see, we've been off for a while.
There you go.
You see, there's a thing. The
We
red
could
light.
keep it off for the next hour and probably be a better show. That's the reality of it this morning.
Welcome to Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. It might be an Olympic break. Razor and I are still here. We have committed to every Saturday during the break. I think in theory we'll make it. You never know. Razor's got a little Quebec City trip coming up. Congratulations to the 2013 Boston Junior Eagles, by the way, on making it. Awesome adventure. Little bit of a headache for you guys, but an awesome adventure for the kids.
That's right.
On the way. Bring your Excedrin at times. Your patience. You've got more patience than I do. Although I've seen angry Razor.
No, yeah.
I have seen perturbed
it
Razor.
comes.
You get to see pissed off Jaffe often.
Over the 10 days, it's going to come up for sure. I mean, it's happening.
No, Aaron, we're not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I can't do another dinner. I can't.
Yeah, that might, especially if it's without the kids, that might be your solace. You may actually like that. All right, so we've been off. When I mean off, just because just been doing a couple things, but the last week seems like 4 weeks away from me, meaning like it's been so long, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's been only 2 games, and obviously now the guys are on the break. Often Milano Cortina, Milano, however you want to say it. By the way, Razor, I think I got some questions for you about Milan. I just don't know if I can reach them today, so we may have to do it next week from
That's
a
good.
fan.
Yeah, next week.
Because I don't think this week's appropriate anyways. But 2 big games, mammoth games the last week. 2 incredibly, when I say different, you get the outdoor stadium series, and then you get the last game before the break a couple days later in Florida, and you're like, what are we going to get here? What could we get? Because 20-something days are staring ahead of guys going down to, somewhere sunny or guys going to the Olympics. What kind of effort are you going to get from both teams? But it's a game that means an awful lot to both teams in the standings, and we got it. We got it, man. Both games brought a lot. Let's dive right into it. We'll go back to the furthest game away, the Tampa Bay Lightning hosting the Stadium Series, a game that you and I were both at, experienced it. I will say it was fantastic optics there. Again, I don't know how it translated on TV to people. I heard too many pirates. That's what I heard.
There's a lot of pirates.
That's what I heard. Too many pirates. With that said, take the pirate visuals out of it. Really, the league, the teams did a beautiful job. I will say I thought the on-ice jersey matchup looked good. Looked real good.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, that the broadcasters were bitching about the uniforms of the Lightning because you couldn't read the numbers at all. I was ringside on the glass doing the game. I couldn't read the numbers. And crazy. Bruins, no problem reading those jersey numbers. But what a crazy game. The Bruins end up losing after being up 5-1, taking, 7 in a row penalties. To me, Razor, it was all the penalties that were not called were the issue over the ones that were called. Overall, I'll let you talk, though. Your experience down there, and were you ticked off, or what were you after the Bruins give up the 5-1 lead, only to lose in a shootout?
It was great. It was fun down there. Everyone was in a good mood. The pirate thing was really overblown, but if you were down there, the Gasparilla parade, etc., was from all accounts pretty cool, even though it was freezing cold. So everyone was in the pirate mood that was there. I could see how it was probably a little much watching on TV, wondering why is everyone always dressed up. and why the Pirates are everywhere. So I would get that.
Did you feel that in the stands, the Pirate thing too? Like, or no?
Yeah, well, you had the shit. Like, it's just the Buccaneers. Like, you're already in a pirate type place as it is with the pirate ship down at the end. I did.
By the way, I thought the pirate ship looked cool.
It did
when you walked in.
Yeah, it's a cool stadium.
It is a cool stadium.
And again, the football stadiums are the best for this game. It's not even
this
close.
type of stadium. It
wasn't
too
that big.
Right?
Yeah, it's not that big. It was perfect. So all good inside the building. I was annoyed because you could see it starting at 5-1. They didn't want to let it get worse, and if the refs kind of got involved. And the Kastelik one was brutal. Gensel comes flying in, punches him in the head afterwards, and then they only get one out of that scrum. And then you're like, oh boy, here we go. This is far from over.
The argument there from people was, well, wait, Kastelik absolutely deserved one, but so did it.
Correct.
So did Tampa. But would it have just been, let's say, a double minor on Kastelik versus a minor so meaning you would have a 4-2. That was the argument I got from some people, and I said, I can't sit here and tell you that Kastelik did. He absolutely deserved one.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I think you could have matched it out, no question.
Yeah, if the score was 2-2 at that time, you're matching that all day, every day. They just are. They ref too much to the game.
Well, the worst was when they didn't call the Kucherov penalties on McAvoy.
Correct.
So again, and I really hate griping about the officials.
We never rip. I never do the ref thing. We never do the ref thing. It's typically, for me, it always evens out. Like over the season, you'll get some games work, some games don't. It always evens out for me. But this one was especially noticeably tilted one way.
I firmly believe,
and it really affected the game. Sorry to interrupt again. That's the issue too.
It did.
It was the reason why they came back.
Though. It was the non-calls. It was a trip, and then there was a cross check, especially late in the game. By the way, I mean, every other penalty was a penalty. You can make an argument. The first one, the Arvidsson one, when the Bruins were on the power play, when he got on the inside of McDonough, was marginal. But you could still make that argument. You could deal with it.
The slashing in overtime was not a slash on David. The one-handed
The one hand
back,
on Moser, right? And the whole thing about that play, that's its own play.
Oh, no, I know. Well, exactly. It's
and we haven't even really discussed that one at all. What I was there as a national broadcaster, but I'm still sitting literally in the end zone watching Kucherov cross-check McAvoy in overtime. I absolutely think the referee who, by the way, Charlie and I think Pasta were kind of, not by the way, they were giving it to pretty outspokenly on the ice, right? They were giving it to, chirping. Yeah. I think the official finally like, screw it. I'm not making the call. It was so blatant. It was so blatant. That's the only answer there.
Yeah.
That did, I'm like, are you kidding me? All right. They lose in a shootout. So while you say the refs had an impact, and while you say they at least got a point, I was still frustrated. I was in the outdoor game's the outdoor game, but at 5-on-5, I guess, is this the silver lining? If there is one, they dominated at that. And you can say, well, they were missing Braden Point. Well, the Bruins were missing their top two centers still.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, that's the big thing. The fact they went through Florida, the fact that they had the amazing January they did, the fact they went down there, got 2 points out of that 4-day trip without their two centermen was very noble, and a lot of stuff happened where you could have looked at it the other way, but I think at the end of the day they're happy with the way they went into the break.
Yeah, I would agree. They go 0-2 in Florida. 0-2, sorry. But before that, had beaten Philly, had beaten Nashville. This was a team that really brought it.
Yeah.
I mean,
really did.
Really, really brought it and did an outstanding job of setting themselves up in a playoff spot. The one caveat being, what the hell's happened to the Columbus Blue Jackets? I mean, I know what it is. Rick Bowness takes over, and you get an invigorated team who's now just 4 points behind the Bruins with one game in hand. The good news is the Bruins are still up on them percentage-wise. They're hot, though. Now, they may be the only team in the NHL, by the way, that is bummed that there is an Olympic break. Everybody else is either on a beach or in Italy, and they're all saying, can't we keep playing?
Yeah.
7 in a row. So they've got 65 points. The Bruins, 1 point behind the Buffalo Sabres, who are the first wild card team. And then the Red Wings are just a couple of more. They're at 72 points, and they've played one more game than Boston and Buffalo. So they're in this great little posse of teams. The problem is they're real close to being in second or third in the Atlantic, and they're real close to being on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, again, they're in,
That's the league, though.
That's everybody. Yeah, you could, if we were the Montreal Canadiens and covering them, we'd be saying similar things. Well, you're only 7 points up, you're far from being done here. This is still too close, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to close out the season. That you have to come back with a great training camp. But all of that put aside, they're 6-1-3 in their last 10. They closed out January, unbelievable. The good news at the end too, I think, in those last two games is they were not getting points in those games early. They've become a team that's just found a way to chip away and get points. The Ranger game's another one. Yeah, you'd love to beat that team and get 2 points, but you're not going to do it every night. You just can't. So the fact that they're chipping away and getting it to overtime or getting to a shootout was really positive. And now you expect them to have a great break. You expect them to be organized. They've been one of the most organized teams all season. So you would think that this training camp and then last 25 games of the season should go their way and should put them in a good place. The math starts working out really well for them too, because you go 500 where they are right now, you're at 94 points. So Columbus has to come and get you still. If you get to that point, 25 points gets you to 94. I think 95 is the projection line cut. Correct. So you're in a good spot there.
Right.
Because to that point, that now if you get to 94 with the 5, that means Columbus needs to get 30 points in their last 26 games. So they have to go 15-9.
Right.
So that's good stuff.
Who knows? I'll give Rick Bowness credit. I mean, I'm a huge Rick Bowness fan as a person and as a hockey person, but as a person more than anything. And for him to go in there and to get, you could tell that there was obviously issues in Columbus. If this isn't a statement as to what was going on or what wasn't happening, whether it was on the bench or in the locker room, this has changed things. The Bruins now, I think it's worth going back and saying again, they are 17-2. In the last 17, they're 12-2-3.
Yeah.
Starting with that Edmonton Oiler win on New Year's Eve. I don't know if you heard those comments, by the way, from Leon Draisaitl the other night.
Yeah, the coach.
Yeah, starts with the coach.
Loved it.
We can maybe get into that, but I liked his honesty. But that run of 17 games where they're 12-2-3, they've outscored the opponents by 21 goals. Their power play, 15 for 49. Has been excellent. The problem is their penalty kill has been awful still. 19 power play goals against in that time, 60 opportunities. That's the most amazing thing is that their power play has been so good, their penalty kill has stunk, and they still were able to put together a 12-2-3 stretch. It really is.
Uh-huh.
Because you put so much pressure on yourself giving up that many power play goals. I guess it goes to say about how well they've played at 5-on-5.
That's right.
Right?
Living
on the edge, though, with it. All right, coming up after the break, we still got a couple of minutes here. We're going to get into the whole Florida game, the McAvoy hit, or the hit on McAvoy, other things, too. But the Bruins folks have put themselves into a spot. I guess if I was a good broadcaster, I'd tease and say, should they be buyers or sellers? They're not going to be buyers. Do you still agree with me on that? They're not going to be buyers. They might make a trade with term, a purposeful trade with term. They're not going to be buyers of rentals at the deadline, are they?
No rentals. No rentals. But
okay.
I think you're going to try and make your team better. I think you owe it to everybody to get better.
Right.
Sure.
But you're going to do it without doing anything stupid, without anything crazy. You're not going to rent somebody unless it's a person, I don't know, unless you're giving up a 4th-round pick.
That's where I was just going to say, what about a 3rd-round pick? I would give up a 3rd-round pick for.
But what does a 3rd-round pick get you anymore?
I don't know.
You're giving up 1st-round picks for mediocre to decent, good guys now.
Yeah. Unless you get I don't know. I'm just saying I would give up a third. And you might be able to get me to take a second rounder off the board too, but
you still have decisions to make. But let's not get ahead of ourselves yet on a couple of guys.
Perfect.
There are
no, that's right. That's the other part of it. There's a few guys that you can't allow to go past the deadline, so that gets interesting.
All right, so the number to join, 617-779-7937 if you want to. We'll take a couple of calls, but we got so much to get into. Again, we've got the Florida game to get to. We can even go back and talk more about the Tampa game here, and then we can look at what's ahead for the Bruins when they get back. We got a ton of stuff to get to here. So if you want to join in, give us a call there. Also here on Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor on EEI, we've got our Apex Entertainment Most Entertaining Moment of the Week. You've got a lot to pick from, even though it was just 2 games.
It's true.
A ton to pick from because it was an entertaining 2 games. You know,
it was
when you talk about them. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to get to here, but coming up, it's what is trending now. So let's get to that, and then we'll be back with a lot more here on Saturday Brew with Jaffe and Razor. All right, welcome back in Saturday Brew here. Razor, start thinking about that most entertaining moment.
Okay.
Actually, should we just go to it?
Just do it?
Because if we're gonna move on to the Florida game, maybe do we want to? I mean, is the goalie fight the most entertaining moment? It was the most wow moment. Maybe that means it is the most entertaining moment.
Yeah, it probably has to be.
You and I have talked about goalie fights a lot.
It's just
and. It was interesting. I got did you, by the way, see the perspective from Craig Berube by chance this past week?
No.
So Chief said he didn't like it. Yeah, why would I want my goalie fighting?
Yeah. I'm with him. I'm 100% with him. I was down there with Tuke, and he's on my, on that side as well. Like why? It doesn't. And the guys, to that point, we've heard this before from a lot of different players. Like, again, in that situation, guys are laughing and joking about it on the bench. But at the end of the day, guys are like, you don't need, your goalie's not your enforcer. Your goalie's not setting the tone. Like, you go stop the puck.
Right.
Right.
Play the what-if game, too.
My what-if right away is like, dude, you're going to the Olympics in 2 days.
Right.
Like, anything could happen. Your body's not normal. Like, you've never fought before. So your hands aren't like fight ready, like just simple things. Like what if your finger gets in a jersey? Mark Kastelik's finger gets in a jersey. He gets his hand out of it because he knows what he's doing. If a goalie gets his finger in a jersey,
and Kastelik in theory can play using Mark as an example,
correct,
with a broken
without a
finger.
Correct. That too. That's the other big part of it. So.
Right, and maybe not every finger, certain fingers, but he can't.
Correct.
The other thing, as soon as, because again, ringside on the glass, as soon as the big cat went to the left.
Well, yeah.
I had a vision. I'm literally thinking, oh no.
Rick DiPietro
against Brent Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, he in that point, again, both guys were lucky that neither one could really fight. Yeah. Like Brent Johnson knew how to fight. Ray Emery, like so there's guys that knew how to fight.
Yeah.
They're fortunate neither one of them did know how to fight.
Okay, so with that said,
but it
was our most entertaining moment.
Hooray. Yeah, there we go. Let's flip it.
How's that for a contradictory segment, right?
Let's flip it positive.
Brought to you by Apex Entertainment, 100,000 square feet of pure fun. And visit Apex Entertainment in Marlboro. And the new Apex Axes in Marlboro. Wow, they can throw axes at each other now.
Like
Razor.
It. Good luck.
I don't
that place wasn't entertaining and crazy enough as it is.
I didn't. Okay, axes. Sure,
I love it. Good corporate gig.
Thank you to Apex Entertainment. So both guys get out of it unscathed.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do this. We have one call here. We'll take it because we like Maria so much. I got a hunch. I got to know where she's going. And then we're going to talk about the Florida game where the Bruins didn't get out of there, relatively speaking, unscathed. Okay? So, Maria, welcome into Saturday Brew here with Jaffe and Razor.
Thank you, guys. I'll be quick. I know you're up against it and have a lot to talk about. But on the goalie fight, my view of that, totally selfish and self-centered on the part of Jeremy Swayman. That changed the momentum and the trajectory of that game where it tipped the ice in favor of Tampa. It was unnecessary, unneeded. But the officiating in those two games was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And it does a disservice to the players on the ice that are working their asses off, the coaches, and the fans. That hit on Charlie McAvoy has no place in any hockey arena, absolutely none. And that makes me believe that the NHL doesn't care about player safety if that's not a hit that doesn't warrant an immediate game misconduct and supplementary discipline. And the fact that no one holds anybody accountable for that is beyond me at this point. So I'm about over all of this NHL officiating. Give me the robots, fix it, but this can't continue. Thank you for the time, guys.
Thanks, Maria. Happy Olympic break.
Yeah.
A lot of people are frustrated. I was frustrated.
Yeah.
I was on what I would call, I wouldn't call it a vacation. I would call it a little break, a couple of days. I'm watching it in a nice establishment in Vermont. But I'm perplexed on that hit. Texting you.
Yep.
Texting Barry. Shockingly, Barry was awake still. He was even surprised. So, folks, if you haven't seen it, which I'm sure 99.9% of our listeners or viewers have, it's halfway through the first period. Sandish Vilmanish, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Latvian player who was up first time with the Florida Panthers, a couple of games this year due to all of their injuries. Through the neutral zone, gets major contact with Charlie McAvoy. To me, there's elevation of both the feet off the ice before contact, not at contact, because that would be legal if the skate was on the ice, then elevated. Before that, and then elbow to the side. There is some there is some body contact, but there's a lot of head contact too, in particular broken jaw side of McAvoy. Halfway through the first. With that said, minor penalty is only called. Charlie's down and out. The good news is Charlie eventually comes back. Bad news is I was concerned, even though he had the full bubble on, you can still hurt yourself. I was concerned that the jaw had another injury again.
Yeah, no question.
Okay. With that said, they didn't go to the new procedure of looking at it for a major and then going down. You can't go up. You can go down. And the referees absolutely screwed up and did not manage the game right there on many levels, Razor. Mm-hmm. Then no supplementary discipline. The league did look at it. Discussions about it. You know they do. We all know they did. But somehow there's enough people that make the decision that it's not even worth a game. After Vilmanis gets kept out of the rest of the game with a so-called injury, and this is the kicker, only to play the next night. He was held out of the game, and I am the furthest thing from a conspiracy theorist, my friend. But he was held out of the game by his head coach, Paul Maurice, because Maurice knew what kind of a crappy hit that it was. And he knew that there would be a gong show if he went back out onto the ice. They took him off because he was quote-unquote injured. He was from the hit. My feeling, my take, I won't speak for you, but that was BS. Meaning he wasn't that hurt. It was a little dinged up, and Paul knew what he was doing there. Maybe Paul helped save that game little bit.
No, he did. That's where I was going to go. Paul Maurice saved the refs a big hassle.
They screwed up. They absolutely screwed up in that game.
And this is where, again, it's not the league does. It's really hard to be a referee, but there should be things in place that allow the referees to fix their mistakes a little bit easier. And the league just has to. The league makes too many mistakes when it comes to this part of the game. They should be erring way more on the side of caution, where you give guys 1-game suspensions all the time.
How about to your point, they've given them the mechanism to cool the game down with a 5-minute major review.
Correct.
It's just like offside now. If it's close, they let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
which
if
they
the
did
goal
do
scored,
like 4 minutes later, and Poitras took a penalty when it was clearly offside. He waves offside, then we get a penalty.
Right.
It's a whole other thing. But no, exactly, and that's where the referees. That's really where the referees screwed up. They didn't screw up on missing the call or not calling it properly
in live time.
Because again, my first time watching it, I thought the kid pulled up, and I thought he took a weird angle and he accidentally got him. The first time I watched it when it was going up the ice. And so again, that's what the referees watch, and that's all they have.
All good with that.
Now you see him down on the ice, and now that's when the referees come together and say, "Hey, we have this in place to be able to call a 5-minute major.
Right.
If it isn't it, we take it right off the board. So we call a 5-minute major and we can look at it. And then you're going to get the back view of the chicken wing coming up, 5-minute, out of the game.
If you kick him out there, the
if you
game's
kick him out,
done.
then that's the suspension
Right,
too, because
right.
it's basically the entire game. Now the league supplementally can say he missed the entire game. That was
Charlie
good enough of
came
a suspension.
back.
Whole thing, we're good.
Right.
But because he got taken out of injury, because it was a 4-on-4 on top of it. They didn't even double up. They give the Bruins the minor for chasing them down, which is crazy on top of that.
Game management.
Really poor game management. And that's really what we're screaming about. It's not, because again, that it just shouldn't be done that way, unfortunately. And that comes on the heels of so basically the 3 periods the Bruins had to deal with down in Florida in consecutive 2, second, third, overtime, and then the first period of Florida was really tilted against them in a massive way.
And then the Florida Panthers decide to do Panthers thing and start taking their own penalties. Mm-hmm. So the Bruins actually got more power plays in the game.
Yeah.
When it was all said and done.
That's right.
Which helped lead to their comeback, which was a valid or valiant point, because I thought when they're down 4-2 that it was done.
Yeah, they could have easily packed it in, no question. Let's just keep going south and get over this. We've been up against it. We're losing guys. We need to get to the Olympics, but they didn't, and they bounced back, and that's why I think we should all be happy we're watching this team.
Yeah, that was as bad as disappointing as the 5-1 give up debacle was on Sunday night. I think you could take the other amount of positivity out of the comeback on Wednesday night, right? Because of the way that they also came back, and it was a Kastelik goal, right, that gets them going, and it was battling, and again you say, okay, well the Florida Panthers but the Florida Panthers are. I know that they're struggling. They still have good players. Whether or not they're playing well is another thing, mm-hmm. right? Now Marchand didn't play a lot. He ends up scoring that goal in the shootout. Do we want there were some curious choices, by the way, in the shootout of shooters for the Bruins. And I know we've already discussed this one time. It's all about feel and vibe. And Marco came out and talked about not having seen some of the top guys score in the shootout. So you go with your hunch. I don't know. You still had Pasternak and Geeky to go before some of the.
Yeah, they haven't been good, though.
They haven't.
They haven't been good.
But you're talking big state. I mean, Pasta's shootout attempt he beat the big cat. He just didn't beat the crossbar.
He hits the post all the time. It's crazy. He hits the post every shootout. It's amazing.
Marchand scores on a backhand goal. It was a nasty back. It's his move, right?
Yeah,
with speed.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking off air about this. I didn't see this because I didn't check the box score. The people in Florida gave Brad Marchand the #1 star of the game.
There you go.
That's really kind of
go take a twirl, Brad.
That's a sneaky. It's a sneaky dig move right there.
Yeah,
I had another word for it, but I'll go. But Anton Lundell was their best player.
Yes,
he was fantastic.
He's a great player.
He is a great player.
Sweden's going to be good this week,
and he's. But Paul Maurice, did you catch too in the postgame? Said he will be captain of this team one day. He said
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
no,
he said he will be captain of this team.
Sasha Barkov.
Yes.
He's like, dude, I'm going to play 12 more years.
How about the fact that, he will. He's well, Lundell might play 15.
Yeah, there you go.
Lundell will be kind of the Patrice Bergeron to Barkov's Chara, so to speak. Barkov will be Chara, right? Be there forever.
Yeah.
The aproposness of this all, or the fact that the U.S. opens up with Latvia in their first game, which is the team that Vilmanis plays for in the Olympics, is appropriate. except for the fact that there's real, you've got to be cognizant if you're an Olympian. While there are half of the referees and linesmen at the game are NHL officials, they still are kind of being held to the IIHF rule standards. I'm going to be very curious how that's called, Razor, because a lot of times, half the time, a heavy hit is called as a penalty no matter what. You can't fight. You're gone from that game no matter what if you fight.
Yeah, there won't be any fighting over there.
Right. This is not Four Nations.
And
you will see. You will not see this like you saw at the Four Nations.
No, not at all. And obviously Charlie can't fight anyways. And Charlie probably doesn't even know who this kid is. And everybody else,
he knows now.
Everybody else on Team USA, I promise you, has no idea who this person is. And they're certainly not going to go fight somebody for Charlie McAvoy. They're not on the same.
No. But I could see Charlie trying to line him up. I could if it was a good hit. I could. Charlie knows who he is now.
Yeah. But when he's not. I don't think Charlie wants to miss the end of the season again. I think he'll play a little bit of a different style over there.
Will be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how they call the games.
Correct. That's way more interesting than anything else.
I do think that is going to be a factor. And, are you going to have – I think the IIHF in conjunction with the NHL wants more NHL referees doing the high-level NHL games.
No question. Yeah, you can.
But
Latvia, Germany, you can have whoever, but you can't have whoever coaching or refereeing Sweden, Canada, and making it.
I know, but I wouldn't put it past the IIHF at some point to have, let's say, 3 NHL officials with 1 non-NHL official out there just to make a point. I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me at all. The Florida game. We got a couple of minutes here just to get into this as well. The Florida game did not start out great for the Bruins, which didn't surprise me. Did it surprise you at all coming off the day off? You practice on Tuesday, but you had that day off on Monday, off of the, so to speak, when I say the high, I'm talking the event that was the Stadium Series. But to see Michael Eyssimont score those 2 goals, that was fantastic. I mean, the kids had an in and out, up and down year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of epitomizes what this team has been about lately, coming through for the depth players.
No, they have had somebody step up different ways, different opportunities, and Eyssimont did it in a big way. I was expecting the Bruins to lose 6-1 night in the Florida game. Like it was a complete scheduled loss for me. Just move on, get through after the Stadium Series and everything else. So for them to have guys like Eyssimont and Kastelik step up and get the point was huge. And
how about Tanner Jeannot? Jeannot was not going to say no to a fight. That was a purposeful – and who the hell wants to fight Tanner Jeannot?
Well, A.J. Greer tried to sneak up on him.
He had no choice, though. But my point is he had no choice.
Jeannot did not let him not have a choice, correct.
Right.
Because he really wanted to square off, and that would have been more interesting if Greer had done that. He'd probably still be lying there. But Greer had to sneak attack because Jeannot just wasn't going to let him out of it.
Exactly. I mean, that was a purposeful positioning by Tanner Jeannot, who doesn't – he'll get asked by most guys now. He rarely asks unless they are the other heavies in the league.
There's only a few guys that'll fight.
And there's only a few – right. But he made sure that he was in the right spot, and that look on his eye when Greer was doing something before the gloves were fully off, it was the Tanner Jeannot version of salivation. You know what I mean? He was like, okay, yes, we are doing this. And that was, you could tell that was a purposeful scrap right there. That wasn't one, okay, I'll respect the code or whatever. This was a purposeful fight. And he got him with one.
Oh, yeah, he corked him.
He got him there. So, but the Bruins, and that's the thing, you know what? If the guys like Jeannot, Kastelik, when Zadorov, physically, not just fighting, but physically involved, I think it's been harder, or should I say maybe easier is the better way to put it, Razor, for other guys to stay in it on games where maybe they could kind of tail off. Because you get a shot of adrenaline when you see that, and it's hard to turn that down when respected veterans are doing that kind of thing.
Well, that and you just know you're not going to get bullied the other way, so you just play differently. You feel better about yourself when you're out there, that you don't get into games where we've seen a lot of teams have the problem with the Bruins, where you start getting bullied around and get into this situation where guys are chirping and then you have nothing to back it up with. It's demoralizing, and you do go into a bit of a shell, and just, you're not playing, but you just lose energy from that. And to your point, when you have guys that you can say whatever you want to whoever you want out on the ice, and have guys backing you up, that gives you a ton of energy.
Interesting to see as we go down the stretch here, which teams are able to confront that, so to speak, handle that. It'll be something, because it's been an issue for some teams this year.
No,
right.
It will be more so in the season at the end here when we start really getting into it.
All right. We're time. Are we at? Yeah, we're at. All right, one more segment here this Saturday morning, and again, Razor and I are planning to be here every Saturday. We will have remote Razor next week as he heads to beautiful, wintry, perhaps even more wintry than Boston, Quebec City. When's the last time you were in Quebec City?
2001, probably right around this time, so 25 years ago. Dagobert, Le Colisée, the Providence Bruins versus the Quebec Citadel, I believe.
Was it or was it Rempart or Citadel?
No, Citadel.
Okay.
It was the AHL, Matthew Garon, the Montreal Canadiens farm team. That was the last time. No, I didn't play that game. I sat on the bench. Bill Armstrong was my coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Gorda was the assistant.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon was his assistant GM.
Yeah.
Scott Gordon was my assistant coach. Yeah, that was the last time.
And the Colisée is still there as a building.
It is? But not, you can't, I didn't know it was still there. Oh, I thought they took it down.
Well,
you were there
ago,
you were there 2 days.
It said, but it wasn't usable.
Yes.
But there's another rink that is usable to the other side, another sheet. So
okay.
And there's rinks all over. Obviously, it's Quebec City.
Yeah.
But you'll get, if I remember correctly, you get at least one game in the big place.
Correct.
Which is a beautiful rink.
Yeah. I haven't been in that.
Beautiful. New rink, newish rink, and they've done it right. I just don't see an NHL team ever going there again. I just don't see the corporate structure in that area that would be able to support it. And people can romanticize about it and say they should have a team, but not if it can't be viable financially.
No chance. Never going to happen.
There's not enough ticket revenue.
Canadian dollars stinks.
The Canadian dollar.
It's bad enough. Like, Winnipeg's surviving because they have virtually the richest man in the country.
And he's grumbling about it.
Correct. And it's still a problem there. Correct. Big problem.
Yeah.
Big problem. But
so we'll have Razor on the road next week, but we will get an episode in.
We'll have Olympic hockey by then.
And we will have Olympic hockey. That's right. The women's Olympic hockey just started. How about what's going on there? Yeah. With the norovirus.
The norovirus.
That's
gonna go over well in an Olympic village. That won't spread at all.
No.
They don't hang out or see each other at all.
The Olympic village is just like, from what I hear, like the villages are down in Florida.
Correct. Just a free for
just an absolute
McDonald's debauchery. Is open 24 hours a day.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So as we wrap up this Saturday Brew with Jaffe and Razor, let's again just take a quick kind of big picture look of where the Boston Bruins are at this time. And I guess we can play a quick game. I don't even know if we have that much time of would you have expected this? David Pastrnak, those 71 points, I'd expect it, okay? I mean, because we've just gotten to that. Morgan Geekie, 32 goals. I was hoping for it. I didn't know if he'd get 40, but now I'm like, I want 40 plus, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we kind of expect that. Let's just move down the list. Fraser Minton, 29 points in 57 games, but more than anything, it's how he handles himself. I didn't know what to expect, but I'll go didn't expect it. What about you?
Certainly not the offense. His production because I thought he was going to be what he was in October, November, all season, where he was going to keep figuring out play defensively, and that's just what he was, and then he'd take an offensive jump possibly in the offseason. The fact that he's done it midseason is really surprising and really exciting.
Victor Arvidsson and Casey Middlestat, we'll put them as a package. 14 for Arvidsson, 12 for Middlestat, 28 points for each. Would you have expected that? I think that's not unreasonable. But I feel like at times, how's this for contradictory? They have done more than at least how they've done it at times.
That's where I was going to go. The points not that surprising or overwhelming, but the way they've played and their 5-on-5 play. The fact they're getting those points 5-on-5 and not really on the power play is what has impressed me. The lack of time they spend in their own zone 5-on-5 is really the story for those two guys.
Murat Husnudinov has played his way, in my eyes, into potential 7th player award category. Whether he gets it or not, you can make an argument for a couple of guys, too. That's what makes it a fun discussion. I just love his intensity. Half a point a game, 26 points in 52 games. I think you've got a middle six guy for the next couple of years that is absolutely a viable option. And for this team, I've been thoroughly impressed by his tenacity.
If the Bruins hadn't re-signed him, I would not have thought twice about it.
Exactly.
For me, he's the biggest surprise. I did not think much of what we saw at the end of last season. I didn't see this. So great on Murat.
A couple of just quickly, Zadorov leads him with 123 minutes in penalties, but Nikita has been, I can't say, has he not been their most all-around consistent defenseman from start to where we are right now?
Yeah, absolutely. He had the little injury at the end, but he's played basically every game, and he's just been rock solid in all different ways.
All right, goaltending. We'll put them together. Swayman and Korpisalo as we wrap up this show. This is what we expected, hope for. I'm saying, I'll let you take it.
I expected a big bounce back from Jeremy. Maybe not to this level. Again, he's 4th in the league in goals saved above expected. He's taken it to a pretty high level again. I'm not sure if I expected it to get all the way back to the top of the league, but I expected a big bounce back, and we've seen that from both of those guys.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this Saturday Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor here on EEI. Don't forget, you can get this on pod or on video. We'll also be on Nesson later today. And next week, Razor and I will be back with you with another Saturday Brew with Jaffe and Razor. But between now and then, we might get one episode in. We might not. We'll keep you posted via social media. Everybody, have a great week.